Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston subdivision. My name is Darrell Cruz, owner and builder of the layout and a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, bringing to you a day-late update on the railroad. Specifically today, we have to report some completion on the track at UTLX. So now we have full operations at UTLX, and just have a little bit of construction scenery here. Here you can kind of see a new turnout going in. The entire UTLX complex takes 8 turnouts altogether. So this was a lot of intensive labor and work to get this all operational. You can see I have 3 of them in place, waiting for the glue to dry on a couple more. But there was 5 right here, and then on the other end there's 3 more for a total of 8. So it's a lot, pretty intensive. The secondary track is definitely a lot more labor intensive than the main line, just because there's so many turnouts. Here you can see it's all completed and ready to go. I even have the turnout motors in, and I have them wired to some push buttons on the fascia. So that one there does that turnout. Kind of have them lined up. That does the back turnout. And then notice I have the one a little bit lower, so I have 3 across for the 3 there on the top, and then 2 lower ones for the 2 coming towards the repair facility. So we have a 3-track yard and then 3 tracks for repairs. And you can see I do have the turnout motors installed. I still do need to wire up the frogs, so I will be doing that this week, getting all the frogs powered. Definitely something. You can see the 2 push buttons for these 2 turnouts. With using a small 2-axle truck switcher in this area, I definitely need to make sure I power the frog. So as I said, that will be done this week. Here you can kind of see an overall shot of how it all turned out. And there will be a facility here, a building. Here you can kind of see a picture of the prototype, and then also a picture of the model I'm going to be kit bashing. I'm going to probably use a couple of them to kind of make it a little bit longer than before, or than the original kit. So there will be these 3 tracks will go into a repair facility, and 2 of the tracks will go all the way through. 1 track will end in the building. So when we get a little bit different view here, you kind of see what's going on. Now, last week, when I actually it was during the week when I did a review on the Atlas MP15 DC locomotives, I just did a short little operations just to kind of show it in action. And I actually ran the cars from UTLX here to the Evanston yard. That will not be actually happening. This switcher will be pretty much always located here at the repair facility. So it's not really going to get on the main line at all. It does have ditch lights on both sides. So maybe we'll have some occasions to have it on the main line, but for the most part, it will be just getting the cars ready for the UP to come and pick up the repaired cars and drop off some unrepaired cars for the facility to work on. So what I'm doing here is just kind of showing you some of the switching that's going to be done. This particular switching, this is mainly just getting 3 cars ready to be picked up by the Union Pacific, and it also is going to involve some moving cars around. So we're going to have 3 cars that are going to go to the track to be picked up, but then 2 other cars are going to be just simply moved to a different location, as they will need to be moved around. They'll be repaired. Some repairs will take place at one spot, and then other repairs will be, or other work will be done at a different spot. So there'll be some movement of cars within the 3-track repair facility, and then moving cars back and forth. So as you notice, it just picked up one of the 2 cars that were in that first track. So you see it left one of the cars there, and that car is going to need to be moved to a different spot. Right. Still using my skewer. Haven't really settled on what I'm going to use. Have a lot of good suggestions in the comments. Appreciate that. So 3 of these cars, it has 4 cars right now. 3 of them are going to be destined for the pickup track. The other 2 will be relocated to a different spot. So if I remember correctly, the first car that it picked up and then the car right next to it are the 2 that are being relocated. There was this one facility that I saw at UTLX while we were there that I think may be a wash area. It had a kind of a rounded cover to it, and it was outside. So I'm going to try and model that. And so that's where I'm going to be moving these 2 cars. So they've been repaired, and they're just going to give them a quick wash before they head them up. I'm not sure if that's really what that's used for. Definitely need to do some more research. I plan to go out to the Evanston sub in May and be able to do some more research. Now that I know more about it, I have specific places that I want to go. Definitely want to find out some more about the UTLX. I want to stop at Granger. Never got a chance to stop at Granger, so definitely want to go to Granger and take some pictures there. All right, so before I put these 3 cars in the pickup track, we'll go ahead and uncouple them so that I can set these first 2 cars that are next to the locomotive, set them back in the wash track, if that's in fact what it is. You have to let me know what you think. I'll put a picture here of what I'm talking about. So leave a comment if you think you know what that structure is for. It might be a paint booth of some sort also. Really like these MP15 DC locomotives. I'm kind of getting used to the momentum settings on it, but it's definitely is a lot of fun to do some switching with it. The actual locomotive is at this facility is an 80-ton General Electric locomotive. It's kind of like the 80-ton version of the more familiar 44-tonner General Electric switcher. Here you can see a picture of it. And I found out that the Rapido is coming out with an 80-ton version of it. I take that back. They're coming out with a 44-ton version of it, and at the UTLX facility, there's an 80-ton. So might at some point in time take a look at getting that. But I think the MP 15 DCE is a good selection. All right, so I have the tank cars set back there in the wash / paint / whatever it might be facility. And we're going to go ahead and take these 3 cars and put them in the pickup track. Once we get going full speed on operations here, hope to have a lot more tank cars in the facility, a few more cars in the yard, and also at the repair facility. Definitely need to look for UTLX tank cars. I was watching a video of operations taking place at the UTLX. There's a DVD called The Wasatch Grade, and it has some pretty good footage of the operations at the UTLX Repair Facility. And most of the cars do seem to be UTLX, although there are a lot of cars that are not UTLX, so would not be unprototypical to have a GATX or other tank cars there, but definitely need to have at least some, if not a good amount, of the cars here being UTLX. So as tank cars are being produced by the manufacturers, I'll have to try and see if I can't pick up more UTLX whenever I get some more tank cars. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put these 3 cars in their pickup track. The switching lead I have here basically can handle 4 cars, so it is going to limit the ability to move the cars around. Although it actually should be okay because the 3-track yard can only handle 3 or 4 cars in each track. 2 of the tracks can handle 4. Maybe 5 if you really squeeze. The other one can handle 3. So we're going to go ahead and push this one into the pickup track. Making sure the switches are aligned. I'm definitely getting better at uncoupling. All right, one other thing I'm going to do yet is pick up the 2 cars in the yard that have been set out by the UP. These are cars that are needing repairs, so we'll move them from the 3-track yard to the repair facility. Hey, good thing about these two cars is that one of them actually is a UTLX. That's the black one. All right, so now it's work is done. We'll have a UP come and swap out some cars. All right, here we are back at the Evanston yard, and we have the Evanston yard crew ready to take some tankers out to the UTLX facility. If I do get the Rapido 44 tonner for UTLX, I might use the MP15 DC here at the Evanston yard. In operating the yard, I'm kind of finding out that most of the switching will be done at the east end of the yard and not so much here at the west end of the yard. So it might be a case where we'll have a couple of SD40 ends at the east end doing most of the switching, but still have a MP15 DC here to assist in doing the switching. But as you saw there, we did have a flashing red to go onto the main line. And head down to the UTLX facility as you saw the ditch lights come on. And we do meet a double stack train here as we travel towards UTLX. Normally the stack train would be on track 2, which is the track that we're on, but the dispatcher routed the stack train around us so that we could get our work done and the stack train could still make its way unimpeded. The turnout into the UTLX facility is right by a crossing. So we do need to blow our horn as we get close. All right, so we stop here for a bit as we wait for the dispatcher to unlock the turnout. And then we can get out and walk towards the turnout, throw the turnout once it's been unlocked by the dispatcher. And then we can go ahead and go into the UTLX yard. We have 5 cars here to drop off. So this becomes a pretty easy operation with it being a double-ended yard. Rather than pushing the cars into the yard, we can just go ahead and pull through, uncouple from the 5 cars, and then switch over to the cars that we're picking up and push them back to Evanston yard. I'm trying to hold the camera and uncouple at the same time and run the throttle. Now that's the switcher MP15DC that you hear idling. I think I maybe need to turn the volume down a little bit on that. Line up the couplers a bit here. Very good. All right, we're all coupled up, ready to go. So we'll go ahead and push these back onto the main line. Now I really should be blowing the horn here again as we come back onto the main line and go across the crossing. A little late. And we're going to stop here for just a bit as we wait for our crew to throw the turnout back towards the main and then climb aboard again. Probably would take longer than that, but you get the idea. Probably should get some little red flags to put on these at the end of these cars when I make this move. We're going to go ahead and stop here again so that we can get the red flashing red signal to come into the Evanston yard. And we do have the flashing red, so we're going to go ahead and come into the yard. Now, while we're doing this, putting these cars into the Evanston yard, the UTLX crew will be taking those 5 cars that we dropped off and placing them at the repair facility as needed so that their repairs can be completed. So this brings us to the end of another update. Thanks so much for watching. Going to be doing some finish up work on the UTLX track. Also we'll have some signaling, last signaling that I'm going to try and do this week, and then hopefully get started on the West Vaco track. Thanks again for watching. Take care, everybody. Have a great week.